Welcome to Ecstaticism, Embracing the Journey to Awakening, with your host, Shari Lynn. A diverse and eclectic array of individuals and experiences await you when you choose to make real changes and growth in the world around you and invite peace into your life. Now, here is your host, Shari Lynn.
Hello, welcome to Ecstaticism, Embracing the Journey to Awakening, and I am Shari Lynn coming to you from the beautiful shores of Lake Erie, and I am so excited about today's show. My guest is Maryann Rada, and she is a healer and a writer. She's internationally known. Her career has crossed many diverse paths, and she has been trained in many healing modalities, from energy work to holistic therapy, meditation, yoga, and metaphysics. And she's helped countless people, myself included, on their way to empowerment through forgiveness and knowing the self. She is an inspiration to me, and I'm very excited to have her with us. And she had started a website, speaking of the nine. Maryann is in communication with the Pleiadians, and I really want to get right into this and what we're going to be talking about today. I'm very excited about it. So you're prepared to meet the Pleiadian Renegades. And to explain to you really what the Pleiadian Renegades are, I'm going to read Maryann's words to you. This is something she sent me just a few days ago that was written by her January of 2008. And she had written this under the surname Amanda R. Ryan, and she can tell you more about that here in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Meaning of who we are. Pleiadian Renegades through Amanda R. Ryan. By focusing on love, you inoculate yourself against fear's dangerous lenses and see more clearly the illusion having been fed as reality for far too long. Generally speaking, we are an extraterrestrial, extratemporal collection of renegade Pleiadians. By renegade, we mean we are of a different philosophical bent from the mainstream of closed-minded beings you perceive to be running the planet's affairs into utter nonsense. We understand their motivations, but ours are different. Nasty men are doing their best to make your world into a wasteland. Final fast forward is a blur, but none of it moves in the direction we would have it. It's not possible. Pent-up energies of awareness are about to explode, and life as you know it is about to end, not as a death, but as transformation. Nemesis is knocking at the door and soon will be inviting herself in for tea. It's always a good idea to offer her a cup first, as she has a sample of sweets to share with you. Renegades are not afraid of Nemesis, but generally speaking, most people are. Let us show you a side of Nemesis you didn't know existed, perhaps in the hope that you will learn a little about very large nodes of light that are coming your way and the dark brothers who would like to have a pirate's party on spaceship Earth. We are not so dim as to miss the larger picture of what has been going on in the world you inhabit. Quick list: people mad about knowledge of war, assassination of leaders who would cause peace to be the norm, children drugged, poisoned, or missing, horrors and atrocities continue to be carried out in the name of God, men chatting up boys for sexual gratification, churches arranging for ministers to be made into saints while God has seen the crimes they have committed against the people they were to minister to. Add that to the insanity, horror, and nonsense, the more visible everyday journey through lack, want, and greed. Now a little cup of tea with Nemesis might not sound so bad. Sanity awaits. Men of light are, as they always have been, at your side. In times past we have been both angels and infidels, movers in shadows, not of shadows but of light. We are of an electric memory of dreams of dancing in stars. More than that, we are kin to another temporal reality, and we love you. Renegades, all are we. So thank you, Maryann, for being here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for reading those words. It's wonderful to hear them. And thank you for that introduction.
Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm so happy to have you with us. So I've found that my show is weaving together this really beautiful fabric of what I believe my message is to let people know that we're not alone, that we are being assisted by these higher dimensional beings of light and of love. So your words that were written in 2008 are so resonant of what we are experiencing right now. And it's been this incredible unfolding, and things sure have been changing.
They have. And you know, the source of those words wasn't living in 2008. We were. The source of those words is outside of time, and so is timeless. And I realized recently that the words that I was writing then were for people to really hear now. There were a group of people that heard them then, and now they're taking on a new life.
It's incredible. It's so. Tell us who Nemesis is. We all know her well. I'm sure people need to understand who she is.
You may not know who she is, or you may.
That's true.
Well, as I was saying earlier, Nemesis can be any form that challenges you. It can be someone who you dread seeing walk through your door, someone in your family, someone who you bump into on the street who challenges you to face something in yourself that you haven't been wanting to face. And it comes from a Greek word which has the meaning to give what is due. So it has this idea of karmic balance. And the Pleiadians use this to personify not just the challenges that we have in our life, but also on a larger extent, the challenges that are facing us as a planet as a whole. And right now we're seeing a lot of talk about asteroids, meteorites, fireballs, things like that. And about 20, 30 years ago, there was a theory that there was a dark star called Nemesis that was out in the Oort cloud, would be making its way towards Earth for a mass extinction. And that's since been put to rest. But the idea is in the collective consciousness. So that's one thing. The Greeks knew Nemesis as a goddess who gave retribution to anyone who was arrogant towards the gods. So really, instead of being afraid of Nemesis, we should embrace Nemesis as a friend, because as people who are becoming aware and who are trying to nurture that divine part of ourselves, what do we have to be afraid of with that? The ones who are being arrogant toward the gods or toward divinity and toward the divine in us as humans are the ones who have to be afraid of her. Mm-hmm. And that would be the ones that the pirates, the ones who want to have the pirates party on Earth. So
we can definitely see that happening. And it seems like, everyone I know that is a light worker, so to speak, that's doing this kind of work, it seems like, we're shown these challenges, we're given these challenges, so that we can move more into what it is that we're supposed to be doing. I think they're also here to show us who we are. Yeah,
that's true. And in that sense, they are Nemesis. They are our Nemesis. Certainly you see that when you look at videos of some of the demonstrations that are going on. Nemesis has taken a very scary form as police and riot gear, and we see it every day. It's becoming more and more apparent. Now, could I read to you a little bit about Nemesis?
Please do. Mm-hmm.
When I was writing, let me go back. When I was writing the first blog, the one that you read from was a blog called Opalescent Words. And at the same time, I had another blog behind that called Garden of Unknowable Things, where the Pleiadians would redefine words that we were used to hearing in a way that gives us a deeper understanding of them. And I've gathered those into a little book, and I'm going to read just a little bit about Nemesis. Not a joyless personality, nor opposition without mercy, as popularly conceptualized, Nemesis has a greatly misunderstood hazy nebula of carefully perverted nonsense about her. As she was known to be by children of ancient days, codes are seen. Of her nature, understand her to be a patient teacher, demanding of your full attention. Like a single-minded taskmaster, emphasis on master, She steers you toward experiences that make you aware of your own imperfections, mirroring them in the people, events, and situations which you randomly encounter. Keeping you centered on what you would rather ignore does make her seem a little less appealing than if she let you run amok. But she honors the request of your soul, not your ego. Nemesis is more friend than foe. So you see, she is something to teach and not something to be feared.
It is. It's beautiful. It's the mirror, the reflection of ourselves. And the people I think that I've found most challenging in my life are those people, the mirrors. They show me.
Yeah, behind the makeup and behind the masks and behind the smiles that we put on to show people that we're okay, that there isn't any pain or any shadow or any memory of something that we need to integrate into our greater self. And Nemesis helps us do that integration work, which I think is so important.
Yeah, and I think that we're really dealing with all the cataclysms that happened on this planet. I mean, from even before life as we've known it, there seems to always have been some kind of cataclysm, the Big Bang, whatever people want to call it. And, we're just reflections of this experience, but we're more than that. We're coming from so many different, I believe that we're star beings ourselves, and we've rubbed up against so many on our way here, and that this is really a task at hand to awaken to who we really are.
Yeah, and that has to come with remembrance. Who we are is who we have been, and what we're experiencing right now is just such a blink in the eye, but it's such an important time.
It is. It's very important. And the fact that we're incarnated right now is really amazing to see what's happening. And, it's changing so quickly too. I believe that even these things that, are really hard for us to witness and on this planet that's happening right now, it's all in divine order, and it's all putting us to where it is that we need to be. And I think it's going to come as a rush. It's going to, I almost feel like there's so much that we need to forget. Mm-hmm. And I remember doing the work with Barbara Handclough, who also, channels Pleiadians. Mm-hmm. And she says there's going to come a time when we could just, completely lose our memories.
Right.
And, that scares some people. And I think that would be a blessing.
Well,
in a lot of ways.
Well, if you feel grateful when you wake up from a nightmare and realize that you're in your bedroom, yeah, it would be like that, I think. And a lot of people say this is the waking dream. And when we wake up, we'll be in the real reality. And that comes with transformation. And that doesn't mean, and I think that's the thing now, is that it doesn't mean that there has to be the typical transformation of death, from death into an afterlife. I think it's from waking up in this, we're going to have some sort of transformation that's very real, very physical, and very, very conscious. We're going to participate in this awakening.
Yeah, and you also go on to say in this article I read from that a great change is at your createdness, and nothing will alter that fact.
Right.
Which is really beautiful. And, all these systems, they just don't work. And it's like really fascinating to watch them fall apart, and the only thing that's troubling for all of us would be that how they're using the fear to control us from embracing the changes that are at hand. Right. So what can you talk about that? We talk a lot about moving from love, from fear to love.
Right. That's difficult, isn't it? It takes a lot of courage